What's up, guys? How are we doing?
Hello.
Whoa!
Welcome. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
It
Um,
is Wednesday.
I know, right? Having Monday off kind of threw me through a loop, and then this is my early week at work too, so I have to be at the office by 6, but I get off at 2:30, so I'm all kinds of
Nice.
thrown off right now.
Yeah, I don't know what day it is or what time. Honestly, the streams have been keeping me on track of the weeks right now.
What year is it?
What year is it?
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, we are here to continue through our Wild Beyond the Witchlight game. We are in Loomlurch, but first we're gonna get through some shout outs, some announcements, and then we'll get our weekly recap. So, Rob, what do you got for us?
Yes, so we thanked them at the end of the last stream, but I will go ahead and thank once again Tony Baloney, Divine Nation, and Blackwater D&D for joining the party and giving us a follow here on Twitch. Also, Sass Sir, with a capital Sir, Caio Favero, Dacid Earl, Decider Earl,
My name is
Yes.
Earl.
Dacider Real, them, Drakir X, Tungy Tyuk, and Rob's Pride, which
A third Rob.
I didn't know it was following me.
That seems a little sus. Not gonna lie.
Thank you. Hey, Dancer Hawk is here. Been a minute since I've seen Dancer Hawk. Irish Mac is here, community moderator. Existential Nerd is here, community moderator, Existential Nerd. Cold Rolled Steel, first time in the chat saying hello, hello back.
Welcome.
And Vile gave us some a handful of community subs.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, thank
On
you.
Monday. Thank you for returning, Vile. We appreciate you. We are still working towards our subscriber goal for a new set of dice, which I don't have in front of me because I'm on the road. But they're the Fangs of Winter set. We actually set some aside for you guys. It's the designers, the creators, personal favorite set. He's actually about 15 feet in front of me on a hotel bed right now.
I don't know if this will focus, but these are the designs.
Yes. So the D8s have mountains on them. The D10s have claws. The D4 has fangs. The D6 has... What does the D6 have? It has the eyes of Hadar.
Are those
And the D20 has a wolf on it.
Are those the ones that Banjo showed?
They are, yes.
Awesome.
And we have the white on obsidian for whoever wins our
I assume
our
when
giveaway.
you said creator that means that it's Banjo laying on the bed, so...
Yes, I don't have Crash, the artist,
That would
laying on a bed
don't
20
be
feet away
worried.
from me.
Don't be
I
worried
would
if
have
he
lots of
disappeared.
explaining to do.
Tell Banjo we say hi.
Hi, Banjo.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, everybody on stream says hi, Banjo. Maybe you heard that.
We
I
did.
did.
Hey, Existential Nerd just subscribed for his 6th, or let's see, for 6 months.
Wow.
Currently on a 4-month streak. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you,
Wow.
bud.
Thank you,
Eric
thank you.
won our last month's subscriber goal. We're gonna play D&D together soon.
I can't wait.
He is one dim winners.
One of them winners.
That's right.
Cool.
Announcements wise, I think that's pretty much it. I've started talking to some guys about what we're gonna do for our 1,000 follower event, but we're still 350 away from that. But we're getting closer all the time, so we're planning ahead.
I mean, it's better to plan ahead than to
Yeah. Do what I normally do.
You and me both, my friend.
Hey, Peyton.
But I know Maddie and Tyler were recently at Fan Expo Denver. You guys had a good
Yes.
time.
It was crazy and fun and busy, and we even met somebody who came up and was like, "Hey, I watched the stream,"
Oh, really?
which
That's
is really
awesome.
cool. So
That's super exciting.
They didn't hate it.
I mean,
That was the surprising part.
that's saying a lot.
I kind of thrive in the kind of busy chaos of that sort of situation at a booth. So it was a good weekend.
Well, and you guys were in cosplay all 3 days, and you looked amazing all 3 days.
Underneath all the fun costume bits, I was sweaty and hot,
Oh.
but I still had fun.
I went to an outlet mall at the beach a couple of weeks ago while everything was crazy, and I bought, which is a big expenditure for me. I bought like $70 worth of new clothes, which is $6, $9 here. It was a lot
So
of new
you
clothes, and I
got
bought
a
them
new
all.
flannel and a new blue shirt.
I did get, this is actually, I got like.
Oh, he's got some short. Look at those
Some
legs.
shorts.
Yeah, I don't wear things without belt loops, but I got these, and I bought everything in that expenditure specifically for how well it would show sweat, so I could wear it on the road.
That's a mood.
It's
I
been
haven't
so
heard a lot
hot.
from Misfit, by the way. Hey, Misfit,
know.
you're on full time on the stream now.
There's no
Yeah, I
escaping
know, I'm
us.
sorry.
You're streaming again Friday.
Tomorrow.
You're doubling up
Yes.
this week.
Yes, I will be back on Friday with a D&D interview, which is super exciting. I
How
can't
has
wait.
your fundraiser on your stream been going?
It's so good. I am
Oh,
so
yay.
blown away with how awesome my personal stream community has been. We have so much stuff, and we're just getting started. So far, grand total, we've raised over I think $120.
That's
in
amazing.
actual
That's awesome.
tips, and then I've got enough supplies to put together at least 5 backpacks, fully put together 5 backpacks, which is super
Hooray.
exciting.
That's amazing.
And that's only in the
Or-
first week. Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
I know, right?
Anybody wanting to help and support that, it's through your Twitch, correct? Like you do the
Yes.
drive-through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
You're
on my
back on
Twitch.
tomorrow for it, right?
Yes, I will be doing another foam smithing. It's sealing and painting and whatnot. So if you're interested in that, join me tomorrow on my Playlands channel.
Hey, by the way, Sarah and Dabs have joined our growing little audience here.
Welcome,
friends.
Good friends of that their channel, Sarah and Dabs.
Before you
What's
settle,
up,
because
nerds?
I know Irish is here. Look, can you look back at the camera?
Oh.
That's our sweet lady right there.
She's had all of her time before we got on just staring at everybody, and now she's done with it.
She's like, I'm done.
So
No more.
she's very sleepy. Oh,
Well,
now I hear the two babies screaming at each other in there.
what do you guys say we play some D&D?
What?
I know,
I guess
right?
right?
so.
You guys want to do that?
Yeah.
The thing?
I mean,
While we're here.
And, you know, we
You
might as
know?
mine
well.
as well.
Well, Scinn is going to be doing our recap to get you all caught up to speed, and we'll jump right back into the chaos where it left off last week.
Yep. So, day started. We woke up. Sawyer previously had made friends. The talking oil can. I don't know how she finds all the inanimate objects that talk. I don't know. It's like she's a Disney princess, but it's not animals. They just come to her. Anyway, we were in the treehouse with the aunt and the kids, and we were going, but we kept hearing weird things out in the woods. So I flew out and I found a bunch of blink dogs, They were having a lovely funeral for one of their friends, and I made friends with one named Helen. Which, to be fully honest, I still don't know if she wanted that name, but she's got it now. And Helen gave us some great information on Granny Nightshade about like some of her minions and like some scarecrows and stuff like that. And shortly after that, Will bounced. I think Will's dead. I think Will's dead. I think Will like walked 10 feet away and died. But Will's gone. Rest in peace, Will. And we are now in the area with Granny Nightshade, and we bought a bunch of candy that seemed to throw them off because I guess they don't sell that much candy. Anyway, we bought a bunch of candy, and Sawyer and I snuck around a little bit before Cheshire found us, which means we didn't actually get into any trouble because Cheshire found us quick enough. But anyway, the candy made our heads get really big, and like I tried to fly away and just kind of like dragged on the ground. But we're at a point where Cheshire and Sawyer are trying to meet with Granny Nightshade, while I, known as Kevin currently, Kevin McAllister, at your service.
We got a last name, y'all.
I am sneaking off. I'm trying to find secrets in the encampment. I'm trying to find things about Granny, but under the guise that I'm going to hunt down Will, because they told us Will's a bad person. Still questionable, but anyway, I was sneaking around. Everything was going great, like insert the Mission Impossible music there. And I saw them sitting in a room, and I tried to scare them, and it worked too good because a dragon showed up. They kicked the dragon's butt, totally with my help, but also with the help of like a little crow. But I don't know where the crow came from. Anyway, I'm hiding again outside, and Cheshire and Sawyer are sitting in the room on top of the dragon's body, trying to make it look like it's not there. Well, Granny's on her way. That's the recap.
Woohoo! Thank you. I think that honestly might be one of my favorite things about running this game is just hearing the player recaps. Like it just brings so much joy.
You never know what you're gonna get with any of us, really.
It's so true, and I can't wait till Wick gets to give some recaps.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Next week, Misfit.
oh,
Yep.
Next week.
Next week
Take
is
good
my
note.
recap.
So you guys just fell this medium-sized dragon, wormling, whatever you want to call it, and you've decided to sit chairs right in front of it.
They just acted normal.
Just chilling. You hear some footsteps coming off in the distance from your way. Wick has kind of retreated back to the workshop at the sound of the footsteps coming your way, and you hear Chucklehead talking, and you hear a slight old lady like cough, like just kind of clearing her throat, and like this, just the sound of footsteps, not hurrying but definitely coming your direction.
Right, so Cheshire, what's the story exactly?
Sorry, poison breath still.
Of course, yeah.
Just act natural. I mean, I look back. How does the Jack in the Box look? Is it like torn asunder, or is it like intact?
It's intact. The lid is wide open.
I run over and shut the lid and sit on it.
Okay.
I stay where I am, and I
That's
just
what's gonna jump out is that the box is open.
Yep. Then they will know something came out.
Mean the thing that's dead on the ground.
And I
in front of
lounge,
you? Yeah.
as nonchalantly as a level 4 Satyr Bard can lounge.
So as you're sitting there,
Channeling Dionysus from Hades as much as fucking possible.
I get that reference.
I don't think got many references, but when I do, they're obscure.
You you start to hear you're starting to hear both voices of the people walking towards you, and you hear the older lady say, And who did they say they were? They're here for me?" And as like just within just a few seconds after that, you can definitely hear them kind of in the workshop area, and the same old lady voice says, "Ah, children, you're doing so great. Keep it up. Great. We'll have a great meal tonight as a reward. Keep up the good work."
Chance is going blah 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 blah, but no one can see it.
After Granny Nightshade kind of makes her way, like one of the boys that is in that workshop with Wick, where did that tab go? Because I forgot who he was. The little drow boy that was in there, he's kind of giggling to himself at you, kind of mimicking the old lady, and he starts kind of doing his own little mimic to yeah, doing good work, and then just kind of looks at Wick and shows you that he has a key, and then he kind of like tucks it back in his shirt. And the halfling that's over there she is not making eye contact with anybody. She's just insistent on kind of doing the sweeping in the corner that she's in.
Meanwhile, Cien is outside, like, doing, like, cartwheels and flips behind bushes, like.
I'm helping.
If you guys look, out the window, you're gonna see him going in far too complicated of a pattern to get back around the building, but it's like he's like jumping from every spot to hide in.
Serpentine.
Yeah.
Just humming the Mission Impossible theme to himself.
Right about this time, the door to the parlor that you guys are in, it slowly creaks open, and a little old lady kind of like little old lady steps, just kind of like pitter patters forward. She's wearing a grimy, kind of disgusting looking old shawl. Her skin looks like gnarled, cracked bark. And there's a large iron key that extends from her back that is ticking rhythmically as it rotates. And she says, "Oh, sit down, children." And she's like, I heard you wanted to meet with me. Right now it's my tea time. Would you all like some tea?
Sawyer does like a quick glance at the dead dragon and then goes, "Yes, tea would be lovely, thank you."
She has no idea that the dragon is there. Her eyesight
Ah,
isn't really the best,
yeah.
you could say. So she's like, "Oh, let me get some tea." She goes over to the corner of the room and starts fiddling in a little cupboard and like gets some cups out and gets the tea brought in and starts pouring it in a few cups, and she hands each of you one, like, so what brings you to Loomlurch?
During this tea preparation, do I notice anything suspect?
What are you trying to suspect? Like, just
Anything come out of the pockets when she's preparing it? Anything besides tea going into these cups?
you don't notice her putting anything in the tea. It seemed, from what you can tell, It's a little old lady offering you tea. Nothing
No,
crazy.
it's already in the tea bags.
When she
I will accept the tea with a, well, not with a smile on my face because I don't do that, but but I will not be drinking it until she has drank some.
when she opened the cupboard, you did happen to notice that there is a bronze candlestick that looks kind of like a bird leg that is in there, along with a set of some silver teaspoons that are engraved with something you can't quite tell.
Candlestick in the parlor. I'll just be mulling on that.
Yeah, so Sawyer will accept the tea, and she's gonna like bring it up and make it look like she's drinking, but she's just letting it like splash against her closed mouth and then putting it back down.
Making slurping sound effects.
Yeah, like she'll pretend, and then she's like, gulp. Mmm.
Suddenly,
Please tell me you
picturing-
say gulp.
Gulp. That was
Gulp.
delicious. Thank you.
If she doesn't
Suddenly
notice a
picturing
dragon
KJ.
laying on the ground.
Yeah. I'm just picturing KJ in the Rhymehold Witch Roll when she was like, need to have people not drink this. Let me just throw it all in the floor.
So she makes her way over and she looks at Cheshire and says, why are you sitting on that box? There's plenty of chairs. There's one, your friend is sitting in one, there's an empty one. There were 4 chairs here.
Did one of the chairs get broken?
The dragon collapsed on 2 of them, along with the table.
No.
There were not 4 chairs when we came in.
Oh. The children are always playing games. They probably moved them and hid them.
I go up to the table and I like sit on dead dragon carcass like it's a chair.
At this point, you get a message in your
Quite
head.
comfortable.
At this point,
Wait.
Sawyer, you get a message in your head from CN outside. It's like,
Tell me how it goes with Granny. If we gotta murder her, we gotta murder her. Out.
You see Sawyer nodding.
So, she looks back at Cheshire. Oh yeah, well, come on, have a seat. And she sits in the empty chair that's there and takes a big sip of tea and says, "So now that we're chilling, I'm sorry we didn't have any introductions. You can call me Granny. And what may I call you?"
You may call me Lucinda.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Lucinda.
Yes, thank you very much.
You hear, as this conversation is going on, you hear the key in her back turning, and it's just a nice steady pace.
Does it seem like anything happens when she drinks the tea?
Just that she's
Like,
enjoying a nice hot
just-
cup of tea.
Okay. Still don't trust it, but okay.
Yes. Granny. I am Cheshire because I forgot to give her a fake name outside. We came because of the flyers that you have posted everywhere, like almost absolutely everywhere. They're quite pervasive. We had some questions about this Will character.
Oh,
Yes.
you found my posters. Oh, thank goodness. Have you found the child?
Well,
One of our associates has a good lead on him.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I created these different flyers, and if you collect the flyer and you bring me Sweet Will, I'll give you whatever reward of whatever flyer that you want.
So could you, we had a couple of questions actually.
Absolutely,
as far as
sweetheart.
the nature of your relationship with this fellow, we saw you had very many children from very different races and ethnicities and cultural backgrounds outside working in your workshop, and what's up with that?
Well, you know, these children all they get lost, and some of them come from not so great homes, and being the granny that I am, I want to provide, and they help me out with simple chores, and I make sure they have a roof over their head along with full bellies to sleep on.
And Will was one of those children?
Will was one of the children at one point, and sweetheart, I don't know if he hit his teenage years, but he became very rebellious and started undermining everything that I said. I trusted him the most.
What sort of chores did Will do?
He helped me mainly in the garden, you know. He helped in the, you know, plant every New Year's stash. After a while, as I built, not necessarily trust, but he was old enough to kind of defend himself. I had him find other children that needed a nice, safe home to live in.
Insight check.
I was about to say the same thing. Can we both insight check?
Absolutely.
You just see, like,
This is my angry
from behind
rolling.
Granny,
Angry rolling.
more hands, just blah, 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 blah.
So he was trying really hard not to giggle at that. I got a 19 for my insight.
Woo!
The
I
dragon
got
dice
a
are rolling away.
17.
So, for the most part, her story seems very legit as far as it's coming from what appears to be a harmless, very old lady. But you guys are able to see almost holes in her story, like things that you've gathered from other people in thither have mentioned, and it's almost like all the pieces aren't adding up, but you aren't sure what's true and what's not at this point.
So do you just want Will back to like work with you more? Or what's the end goal here? Just, you know, our
If you're just-
associate is kind of a loose cannon. We need to make sure to let them know what exactly to do when we find this Will fellow.
What condition do you want the child returned
Yeah,
in? Because
yeah.
It sounds like you said he's capable of taking care of himself. Is he just ready to go out into the wider world? Is it such a bad thing that the children grow up?
Well, you know, being a nurturing old lady as I am, I really that's an angry face. Sorry, guys.
Rob's
Oh,
like,
it's not
"What's up?"
angry, it's excited.
This stream is brought to you by
Domino.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor, but if. Unless.
Hey, Domino's.
hit us up.
Oh, what the fuck is up, Domino's? We need a sponsorship. Like,
Let's do some D20 shaped pepperonis. Let's do it.
No, man, we promise if you sponsor us, we'll get those ads done in 30 minutes or less.
Oh.
money back.
So, sweethearts, as an old lady myself, I just really want to look out for the well-being of these children. Sometimes I stress overnight, and I just really want them to be safe. I rescued them from the situations that they were in, and I couldn't ever forgive myself if anything bad ever happened.
Insight check.
Okay.
Misfit, I'm picturing like the Howler letter from Harry Potter that's what
Oh
this
my-
is going behind her.
Blah, 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 blah.
Cut
Blah,
to
blah, blah, blah.
loose cannon outside likely stuck in a tree.
Classic
Like-
loose cannon.
like-
You're a
stuff.
loose
Like that-
cannon, Cien.
Like that
Need your
SpongeBob
badge and
movie
gun.
thing, like the SpongeBob movie when he's hanging in his like witch hat and all that stuff at the
Yeah.
end. Afterwards, it's just Ian hanging out of a tree. Just
I got a 17 this time for insight.
Okay. So what she just told you, like, you don't see any reason to not believe it.
Hmm.
Almost like you're kind of
It's practiced.
a little bit, yeah. That you're almost slightly charmed by her little
Okay.
granny, helpless, all that.
So it sounds believable, but it's as if it has been made to be believable.
Could be.
Okay. All right. Sawyer fake sips another sip of her tea and sets it back down. So you want Will back in one piece is what you're saying here. You want just him to be back safe and all
One
all
piece of him.
together.
I mean, all together.
Yes.
Yes, please, if you see him, restrain him if you must, but please don't hurt him.
Does he have a safe word?
Pineapple pizza.
Good. I got buffalo, but that's a good one.
Oh, did I say I'm in Buffalo?
It's common mistake. I completely understand.
Real quick, thank you Jesse Jerdak for the follow. Thank you Tweety Bird and Surly Burley for the follow. And
fun name.
Cheesecake Panda Kaz
Oh.
for the resubscribe. 7 months
Ooh.
going strong.
They seem nice.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
heard
know.
things.
I've heard bad things. Let me tell you.
Really? I've
Somebody
heard
just
good
wiggled to say hello. Do you want him to
Hello.
say hi?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, you
says,
wanna say
thanks
hi.
for following. Look at her little hand.
Oh.
No.
Max LeFou, hello! Welcome to the chat, my friend. Alright,
Bonjour.
that's
So
all.
many
Back to
friends
game.
tonight.
on the note of the chat, for anybody who missed it, somebody said that Sienna woke up and chose violence, and I said he always chooses violence. So we rolled a d10 to be like a 1 to 10 scale to see how violent he was, and I rolled a 9.
Oh, it's gonna be a good session then.
Well,
Or you have more fancy.
I'm finishing my tea now, but feel free to hang out here if you're searching for for Will. But I need to get back to my room and rest. Dinner will be served shortly for the children. If you all would like some, I'm sure as I pass through, I can have the cook whip up a little extra for you all.
Thank you very much. So, just so it's all clear and on the table, as it were, it's all right for us to search about the area and look for Will where we need to look and all that.
Yes, absolutely. You know, if I was trying to hide from you, I wouldn't hide far away. That's the obvious
Yeah,
place to look.
yeah.
Hiding close. No one ever looks there.
I mean, as long as you're not, coming into my room to bother me while I sleep. Absolutely.
Oh, yes, of
Well, we
course.
should definitely look in your room before you sleep, then.
Just in case he's hiding somewhere and he's gonna jump out
The
at you or
last
something.
place you'd look.
Yeah.
I need to see something real quick.
Sure. You got an inspiration.
I did?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, Sawyer.
Sawyer
Guidance
and,
for Sawyer,
and I have
guidance for Cien,
one. Yeah, that says
Specifically for
specifically-
violence.
Yeah,
and a darkened mood.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got a darkened mood from Nerd.
Nerd's
And I
always
just got an
throwing in those
inspiration because
dark
Ian needs
ends.
Eric
inspired
loves his
violence.
darkened
He
moods.
does.
Eric, are you okay?
I
wanna
just got
talk
an
about it?
inspiration
Just
as
checking on you.
well.
This is a lot of darkened moods.
As you ask to go into the room, and you've been asking to search more of the house, like almost pushing your bounds. The key in her back starts turning slower and slower, and she's looking at you and says, "No, my room. Believe me, it's not a big room. He is not in there. If he was, I wouldn't have posted these posters everywhere."
Excellent point, really. I honestly don't know why we even thought that in the first place. You seem like a very, very put together lady, and
Yes. Nothing
we-
flies beneath your notice, I say,
Yeah.
kicking the dragon under my butt.
Yeah, so my apologies if that crossed any boundaries or anything. We will stay away from your room, but we will make sure the premises is secure.
Okay. Well, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to Chucklehead or Soapig. She's around here somewhere. But if you need anything, reach out to them and they can probably assist you.
What's that second name?
It was Soapig.
I know that name.
Suddenly, all of our eyes are like, wait a minute.
Where would this poison? Where would this Soapig be?
I don't know where she's at currently. She's in and out pretty frequently. She can take care of herself, and she runs errands for me from time to time.
Well, if
Okay.
we see her, we'll definitely touch base.
Okay. Well, if I see you again or not, rest well. Feel free to stay here if you must, if you want. You know, I just don't want to. I've heard there's rumors of a Jabberwock running around, and I just really don't want anyone to get harmed.
I don't think any of us thought that, really. So. Right, Cheshire?
Doing. Want that?
Yeah.
Well, good night, children. And as she starts walking away, she starts almost like calling a cat. She's like, "Yeah, cradle fall, cradle fall, cradle fall. Yeah, cradle fall, cradle fall, cradle fall." And she walks out of the parlor.
Does Chucklehead go with?
Chucklehead hasn't been in there the whole time. He went back
Oh,
to
okay.
his
He
goblin
just
market. Yeah.
Brought her over. Okay.
When
Um.
she turns her back, I face the window, and I'm not going to be able to hold my push-to-talk button and do this at the same time. But looking out in the general direction of bushes where a fairy might be, I'm just...
Hanging from the tree. You just see as he like swivels back around to face you. Just
Still so much confidence, Tyler. Ah.
he's gonna free himself from the tree, and you guys can choose whether or not you watch him like fall like a rock to the ground. But yeah, there's like a little puff of dirt from behind a bush because he's so small you can't see him, and you get him up and like kind of like walk like a little old person that's like pulled their back as he's going back to the front.
Oh, hang on. Need to see if I have a spell.
I know I don't have any of those.
I'm surprised your ring didn't tell you to punch the granny.
Yeah, isn't that weird? How unusual.
So,
Actually,
While
give you
Rob
a hint
is-
as to like.
while
I was
Rob's
holding down
looking
the wrong
up,
push-to-talk button. How far is Scinn from me-ish?
further than 30 feet, less than 100.
Okay, I will make
She didn't see any of that.
I'm gesturing frantically, beckoning towards myself.
Okay. He does enough of a glance back to see you, and like all you can't hear him obviously, but all you just see is him go. And you can it's almost like you can hear like the goddamn it, Cheshire, as he starts like hobbling back over to the window.
All right, when you get to within 30 feet, I will cast Minor Illusion to make an auditory sound from within 30 feet of me. That's just a soft whisper in Cheshire's voice of the word bedroom. Bedroom. Bedroom.
You get a
And I
message
cut
back
off the
that's like
spell.
you get a message back that's like
Cheshire, it's the afternoon. It's a little bit early to go to sleep unless you're asking for something else, and buddy, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, thank goodness you messaged me. Now I can actually use words. Go to her bedroom. She's very private about it. She won't let us go.
you watch him pull out another piece of copper and like
Where's her bedroom?
I don't know. You're supposed to be the infiltrator, the sneaky one. You
Sorry,
volunteered for this.
Sawyer's just watching Cheshire angrily gesture while he's sending a mental message.
like a tiny little
She's
yeah,
just
it's like a pulls down another piece of wire.
Don't worry. I'll fake joking on a starburst. I'll figure it out.
They should not
Figure it out.
Poison gas. That was what was going on in here.
I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna be honest, Cheshire. I haven't found anything yet. Like,
Hey, Cheshire, tell
Just
Sue and
goes
I
running
say
off
hi.
behind the room.
Tell Sue and I say hi.
See you and Sawyer says hello.
Turns around. It's almost like you can hear the patter. Almost like you can hear the little patter of his bare feet, just like as he's running off.
He runs away.
Yeah, I can start rolling investigation checks if I need to, but yeah, he's gonna start peeking in all the windows, fly up to any he needs to. He's gonna start looking for her room.
Okay. So looking at the map, which side of Loomlurch are you going up? The side with the goblin stall, or?
Last game I believe I made it look like I was going back out
Yeah, you were
into
kind
the
of
woods, and then I went back up the other bridge.
okay. So I would say
Yeah.
probably the left side, I would guess.
Yeah.
So the first window you get to is when you look inside appears to be the workshop. If you want to roll me a perception or investigation, either or. Probably a perception unless you're looking for something specific.
He is hunting specifically for what looks to be a bedroom with bonus points if it looks like an old lady room, but
Okay.
Possible Wick would see in for the first time.
yeah.
Get to the workshop.
My perception and my investigation are the same additive, which is nothing.
Okay.
So. I'm gonna use that inspiration for violence, as it was put. Not that was a bad number, but I just want to see if I could make it higher. And actually, Ori, you blessed this one earlier. Yeah, oh, she's blessing real good. You're done? Okay. Oh, much better. That's a 19.
A 19. So when you look in, you see a little halfling sweeping in the corner. You see a little drow boy. He's at this point he's kind of like dancing on the table, kind of almost putting on a performance for the room, but nobody's really paying attention. And he keeps like dangling this key, and you see the crow that you saw previously in this room as well. Wick, if you would like to roll me a perception to see if you notice Scinn.
Probably not. Let's see. That's an 8 on the dice. Oh yeah, no, that's an 8.
An 8?
I had an
Okay.
8.
Yeah, you don't notice anything at first, but as I will say, as Scinn leaves, you hear a noise. But Scinn, you notice scattered across the room there are some half-built toys within there, some oil bottles. There is a set of nesting dolls that there's a couple of them out, and the facial expressions on them are terrified. Just different types of terrified or scared. On a table closer to the halfling, you see a what it looks to be a stuffed lion that has needles for teeth, and there's blood stains kind of around its jaw. And on the windowsill that you're actually looking in, you see a set of playing cards that, from what you can tell, they depict crying children.
Well, first things first, I want to try to steal those playing cards because I feel like Cheshire would get a kick out of those.
Okay. I guess do a sleight of hand.
Yes. This is the specific. This is my one and only CN specific die. So, see how this goes. Okay, that's a 14 on the roll. I don't know if I have anything to add to sleight of hand, though. Oh god, I got a +4 to sleight of hand. Well, okay then.
Jesus.
Oh, little steely king.
Yeah. That makes an 18 in total.
Okay. So you're ever so quietly just kind of raising the window up as the best that you can, and you have this little hand reach through and lands on the deck of cards. Wick, go ahead and roll me another perception.
It's just like a tiny, like,
Little
dragging it back.
That is an 8.
Another
But
8?
I'm rolling fucking 8s all day. I'm actually going to use my feat lucky
Okay.
to reroll.
Ooh, a good feat.
Dude, feet.
It's
I
a
was
good
gonna
feat. I'm
fucking
trying to
feat.
remember to like use it.
I
Yeah,
have a
do it.
character with Lucky, and I always forget. So, use that.
Oh, frick yeah. That is an 18.
Okay.
Atta girl.
So
You have an
Scinn
inspiration
is
from someone too. I think it was Grim or Dabs, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, speaking of cool chat stuff, thank you, Green Lantern, for the follow. Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Seeing your little hand comes through the window and is on the deck of cards, and you're starting to slide it out, but Wick actually noticed the window open and saw your hand come through and grab the deck of cards, and as it starts, as you start to pull it out the window.
You know
Just-
how like kids'
I'm sorry,
hand
did you
like
say
this
saw your hand?
my hand. No.
Saw your
No.
hand coming through the... Okay.
My hand. What?
But like you know how like a kid's hand just like looks sticky. That's what's coming through.
You just the deck of cards looks like it's magically just pushed towards you. Because Wick doesn't do anything with his actual hands, he just uses mage hands for everything. So this deck of cards just like magically gets pushed at you and in part of his big beak, so it's like out here, just like
Part of like he's like it's just a hand coming through because he's so short. Like after a second, like you watch like the whole like a tiny little head pop up, and it's just from the eyes up, so it's just kind of going like, and then like slide back down.
So now that you have this deck of playing cards, what are Cheshire and Sawyer doing?
Well, Sawyer's gonna make a note that go make sure at some point that we go over and check out the boggles, because I promised that talking oil can that I'd get him some boggle oil, and I don't want to break that promise. So we gotta make sure that's on the list.
Do I know about any talking oil cans?
So
I don't
there's
think I was
talking
there for
oil
that.
can. He's
Okay.
really
I
nice.
warned you about it in the middle of the night before going back to sleep.
His name
Look,
is
I can't trust
Squirt.
anything Scinn says in the middle of the night. I can only trust what he says during the day.
But he needs boggle oil, so I promised Squirt I'd get some boggle oil. And I don't want to break the promise, so we just gotta put that on the list at some point, like mid-priority. If we need to do other stuff first, that's fine. But just,
Not a thing you do
you
in the
know.
Feywild is break promises.
exactly.
If any of the stories, if you can believe.
Yeah.
So Scien's going to look for the bedroom. Should we just try and follow Granny? See where Granny's going?
Sure. Yeah, we can act like we're
Is there
just
somewhere we
walking
want to see?
somewhere
or-
else and follow her.
I got a strange feeling approaching this place. A feeling I haven't felt before, or at least not in a very long time. I feel like there's something significant about this place, or perhaps something significant here. Maybe
Is it like-
more so than,
A pulling feeling. Just pulling
Sort
you
of.
to this place.
well, kind of like a pulling at the corners of my face, which is uncomfortable, frankly.
Cheshire. That's how I felt right before I found my height again.
Right, that night you grew taller.
You're gonna get taller too!
That sounds very inconvenient. Will my clothes still fit?
But mine still fit pretty fine. It's like my vest is a little cropped now, but they were all a little oversized to begin with, so that lucky for me at least.
Well, I mean, sure. We should try and find my height then.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if we just walk about, I'll get the feeling again, or I won't get the feeling, or maybe we'll find something interesting, and hopefully not a dragon,
And hopefully boggles.
or possibly boggles. Yes,
Boggles.
boggles.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? We should probably get ourselves a guide so we don't go anywhere accidentally, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually, Squirt said he could be our guide, but he's not here right now and he doesn't have his oil yet. So-
That chucklehead. He seems like a
No.
chucklehead.
What about that sweet little bird?
I suppose. Do you think it knows its way around?
Probably. I mean, all I know is if I were here as a lost kid, I'd probably sneak around and check stuff out too. So maybe Wick also has snuck around and knows where things are.
Snuck around?
Problem
Yes.
if
Where
they-
he knows things? No.
If they're really supposed to be here of their own volition and only helping out with little chores, then no one should have a problem with that, right?
Yeah.
So yes, let's acquire the bird child. At least it's not a heron gone, and then
It's true.
we can have it show us about.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good plan.
At this point, Cheshire, you get another message that comes through that goes,
No news on Granny. They got you a present. I love it.
Cheshire has never been more afraid in his life. He starts sweating.
Hey, you alright? You look a little clammy.
Anything happens to me, I just want you to know that adventuring with you has been a terror, but a fun one.
I feel the same way, Cheshire. I give you like a really hearty pat on the back. Let's go get that little bird. March
I'll let
towards
you.
the workshop.
I'll let you handle the introductions, and it's not because Rob is starving and still trying to stuff his fat face.
no, I think it has something to do with Cheshire referring to the child as it. So
He did not check the gender of a bird child.
Just like the maybe it can show us around.
Inspiration for Wick, by the way.
Yay.
So, as you guys are starting to leave the parlor, what is Wick doing?
Wick is trying to steal the key,
Ooh.
but tactfully and stealthily, so he doesn't even realize that it's gone.
So
Should I?
this boy is, he's telling his story, and like he's how he stole this key from Granny herself, definitely like a fisherman's tale, like over exaggerating everything, and he's got it basically in his hand, and is just talking about how where did he say that key goes? That
Did
he's
he
like,
say that he went somewhere?
no, that was for me.
DM secrets.
Right.
Ooh.
So he's talking about how he's like, after they all go to sleep, we can take this key, we can get in the kitchen, we can have all the food we want. She can't stop us if she's sleeping. Like just super cheerful, almost like not thinking it all the way through that she's not the only one that patrols or is watching these things, but he has this grand idea in his head that he can go in there and he can eat all the treats and all the food that he wants.
I'm stealing it. I want that key.
Okay, how do you want to go about trying to steal it?
So you said they were still dancing around telling this grand tale.
Yeah.
So is there a point in time where their hand is like waving and I can just kind of mage hand it and go, whoop?
Yeah, I would say there'd be a point in his story that you could do that. What's that look like?
Or,
Is that like a strength or
no, it would be a sleight of hand, I think.
okay?
So,
Which might-
we actually just talked about this in a recently recorded Best Cantrips episode of Bardic to Inspiration. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. The Mage Hand cantrip is actually kind of lame in a lot of ways, unless you are an arcane trickster, because everything you would want to do with Mage Hand, you actually can't do unless you are an arcane trickster.
I
Because
am.
the Mage Hand is invisible, and it can do fine-tuned things like picking locks and sleight of hand and pickpocketing and stowing things in other people's pockets. And it does so as if nothing was there, and the caster of Mage Hand doesn't have to do anything to give away that they are casting a spell. I'm geeking out. The very first thing I played in 5th edition, my very first game of Dungeons & Dragons ever, I was a gnome arcane trickster named Rattle a Chance, and
Ooh.
I was my dungeon master for that game is sitting right over there.
So
Super excited.
Oh, arcane trickster. Yes.
okay,
Let's see your stuff.
yeah. So go ahead and I guess sleight of hand it.
Sleight of hand, sleight of hand. Oh my god. Holy crap, that's a 20.
All right.
Yes.
So your
With my
your
plus
mage
9 is
hand,
a
he's
29.
he's so caught up in his story that he doesn't even realize that it has been taken from his hand, and that it is now in your possession.
With just kind of like carefully. So he's got a belt on that looks like a tool belt type deal with a bunch of different pouches and whatnot, and then there's like a little loincloth that hangs down in the front, and he's got a bunch of shiny things that just hang down because Wick collects shiny things. Just steals them constantly. Just mage hands like, boop, that's mine. Boop, that's mine. Boop, that's mine. So he just adds the key to his already growing collection of shiny bits and hopes that no one notices it's there and lets, this person continue on with their story of how they epically stole this key. And Wick's like, yes! Brava! Brava!
So, while that's going on, we'll switch back over to Scinn. Scinn, you are at this point kind of hovering over what appears to be Granny's garden. It's kind of a woodland basin that is filled with plants and fungi, stretches out along one side of the fallen tree. There's a pumpkin patch at one end of the garden next to a steaming compost heap, with ramshackle pens for pigs and goats, and on the opposite end. Bedraggled scarecrows hang from tall wooden stakes in the basin's wooded slope. 2 ground-level doors and 3 balconies provide entry into Loomlurch.
Okay. I want to check. You said there was 3 balconies?
2 ground-level doors and 3 balconies.
Okay. Just out of assuming that being head of house that she might have a room higher up. He's going to go up and start peeking in the top rooms first.
So the balconies are going, it looks like, are, so we're talking a long space area.
So more like a common walkout balcony?
Yeah, so it's,
Okay.
like there's one into Loomlurch by one of the doors. There's one on one of the tall tree spires that come out of the fallen tree. Actually, that's 2 of them that you're able to see.
Okay. Well then, yeah, he's gonna start peeking in the windows,
Okay.
especially the ones that seem more viable to maybe be a bedroom.
Okay. Let's see. So you look in one of the balconies on the first tree. We'll just call it tree spire. And you see. You see what looks to be a dormitory. Has some beds in there that are lining the wall. They're smaller beds that just have small kind of patchwork quilts. And there is a young dwarf that is laying in one of the beds, coughing and drenched in sweat, while an older kid is, well, it says older lad specifically, is mopping his brow with
What?
water from a bucket.
Sorry, he's doing what?
He's mopping his brow with water from a bucket.
Okay. It's not what I thought you said, and I thought what you did say was a metaphor.
Cian's
He's just a
gonna
little sick guy.
slide the window open and like plop himself inside. Mainly to make sure everybody's okay, but then also assuming maybe they can tell him where to go faster.
Okay. I'm assuming you're trying to open the window similar to the workshop.
Yeah, he's trying to be stealthy if he can.
Okay. I won't make you roll. The first time you try to quietly move the window up, it doesn't budge.
It's doing a tiny little knock on the window. Of like just staring and just
And the,
like not relenting.
the lad that is kind of taking care of the dwarf looks over you and is like kind of slightly disturbed, but
Let me
also
in, poser!
he's also kind of curious, like, it's not, he's seen fairies before, so he's not startled, but he's just like, why? And so he walks over and he opens the window to let you in.
Quickly jumps inside and like gets down on the ground and is just like flattening himself against the wall as if he's still needing to sneak.
Did you looking for the granny's room? Seen it?
Oh, the granny. She's all the way at the other end of Loomlurch. I mean, not here, but if you go down the stairs, it's, just down the hallway past the barracks.
Said
Did-
past the
did you see-
bear.
Yeah, do you say past the bear or the barracks? No, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but if all goes to plan, I'll be free tonight, my friend.
I mean that would be
Spoiling something.
great. But as you can see, not all of us are in the shape to be free. We what's his name? Brotor here. He's not feeling well at all. As you can see, he's kind of on his deathbed, I guess you could say.
What's wrong with him?
I mean, he's just running the.
Does he have the Rona?
I don't know what the Rona is, but I think it's something he ate.
If he just ate something bad, he's just gonna throw up in like half an hour, and he's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I wish, but I mean, we've been up here for hours, and he's running
Cian the
a
healer.
fever.
It takes some time sometimes for like the nasty to like move back up to the top.
Oh, that sounds less than pleasant.
It's not, but then you feel great when it comes out. Trust me. I've eaten many a questionable things.
Hey, Rob.
What's up?
I'm real glad you're running for CN and I'm running for Dorian. So we're just gonna throw that out there.
All right. While you're saying that, he's looking at you like, that's very less than pleasant, but all right, whatever. It's like I need to go down and get some fresh water for him. Can you stay here with him and make sure he's okay?
Fine. Don't take your time. I have places to be. Places being an old lady's bedroom. I'll hurry back.
All right, I'll hurry. I'll be as fast as I can. And he's like, and
The clock's ticking, my friend.
I'm sorry. What was your
Clock's
name?
ticking. Name's Kevin.
Kevin, it's nice to meet you. My name's Pud.
Kevin McAllister, if you will. I'm good with traps. Pud doesn't sound like... Who named you?
Unfortunately, my parents named me. But
Who named you?
as you can see, my parents aren't.
That just topped
around.
Chocolate Thunder for me.
So he walks by. He closes the window and secures it, and makes his way down the stairs.
I'm gonna start looking around the room, just like it's obviously a kid's room, so I don't think I'm gonna find anything particularly interesting. But I'm gonna start looking around the room while waiting, occasionally checking on the sick kid.
Let's see.
Goes up to the bed.
I brought you drink some water, and did it taste like blood? Because if so... I'm sorry, we haven't found the cure for that yet.
And the child, he's just like, the water's fine. Just making
It's okay. That's the back. It's okay, just if you got a vomit, point that direction. This is a nice top. I'd like to keep it that way.
Cian's bedside manner is how I want every doctor to treat me.
As you're
The youngest of like 7 children, like this is how he's gonna be.
go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Yeah. Oh, I am having the ad perception. Why am I even looking? 14.
Okay. So as you are looking around, you see that next to the dwarf's bed is a table, has a gold ring that is on it. It has what looks to be a weeping willow kind of engraved in it. Looks fairly valuable, maybe like 25 gold or so. On a few tables down, you see a book that has a silver bookmark that is shaped like a feather that is kind of stuck and halfway through the book or so. But that's all you see there. While you're looking around, you hear the dwarf kind of moaning again, like, "Oh, I'm dying. I don't feel. Oh." And
Oh, don't worry, buddy. If you're like my brother, you probably just gotta do a big poop and then you're gonna be fine.
I had a rat who used to do that, where she'd act like she was dying and then she'd poop and she'd be fine. So that's
Honestly, it's great advice in just like
is.
day-to-day life. Just poop and you'll feel better.
you know,
I,
he's
I
gonna-
always do.
he's gonna ignore the table right next to it because, like, you know, he has the decency not to steal from someone who's dying. But he is gonna go peek in the book, like where it's open, to see if it's like a diary for some tea. You know.
Talk among. What are Cheshire and Sawyer doing?
Oh, you're gonna do it again.
So actually, sorry, take that back. You guys were leaving the parlor, and you were walking into the workshop, and I have a description for you. So as you walk in, you see some flickering lanterns that are illuminating the workshop. There's a soft music that is being produced by some bells and chimes. It appears to be kind of magically, because nothing else is actually playing them. There's parts of toys that are heaped on the tables. You notice the toys we had mentioned before, the lion with the needles for teeth. I forget what else I said. The nesting dolls that all had frightened faces.
Oh yeah.
And you see Wick over at the far side of the room give a face of like glee and happiness that he just stole a key like very, very successfully. Yeah. So while you guys are exploring that, I'm gonna keep googling.
Sawyer's gonna make her way over towards Wick and is gonna kind of like squat down to Wick's level and be like, "Hey, listen, we just got permission to just kind of snoop all over this place, and we were hoping that you could be our guide throughout the area. I feel like you're really good at like finding good places and sneaking in at places. So Cheshire and I were hoping that you could be our guide. What do you think?"
Wait. You just
I don't
kind of like-
speak Elvish. What is that? Is that yeah?
Yes. We would like you to come with us. We would all like to be a we.
Yeah.
you see him like ruffle his feathers, like, oh. And he nods his head and he goes, "We."
Yes.
So we're a we now. I love it. Okay. So
Very on board this one.
I'm really a big fan of you, Rick. So, Sawyer's gonna like ruffle your little downy feathers on the top of your head a little bit and go, "All right, my friends, where do you think we should go first if we're snooping around and looking for good stuff?"
And as you are saying that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Good.
all three of you roll me a perception check.
Ooh.
Unless your passive wisdom is a 16, or perception rather.
I don't know if any of
Who
us
do you
have
think
that.
I am?
While everybody rolls, look at how she fell asleep.
Oh,
So cute.
I love her so much.
I am dead.
Oh, did I wake you up? Oh, did I wake you? Okay.
So if we
While we
don't
roll
have...
a couple of things here, by the way.
We have a
Um,
dark in the mood.
Uli and Aiden, thank you guys for following. Aiden, thanks for joining us in the chat. Appreciate you
Aiden.
being here. Glad you found the stream. Please tell us in the chat how you found the stream. I'm very interested in such things.
I know how
Oh.
Aiden found the stream.
Now, how did Aiden find the stream?
Aiden texted me and asked for the link. I know Aiden.
Ah.
They're wonderful.
Aw, excellent. Also, that's the second darkened mood of the stream there, Rob.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It's supposed to get real dark up in here.
I was
sheep.
I was saving the other one, looking for an opportune moment.
You're welcome to
Oh,
say
wow.
them. I just don't want you to forget them.
Yeah, no, I have the first one written down. I'm gonna write the second one now.
Sheepy redeemed the second one, by the way, and
Oh.
Sheepy has been drawing tarot cards.
Really
Oh,
cool.
It's been
Sheepy
so
did.
pretty. I love
They're
that.
really cool.
Sheepy is not Sheepy's name. Sheepy has not told me to stop calling her Sheepy, though, so I'm going to keep calling her Sheepy.
As one does.
I got
I
a
rolled well! What the hell?
I got a 15 for my roll.
Okay.
I got to 3.
Okay.
I also got a 15.
Oh,
Plus 2. 17.
Oh!
even better. Brag about it.
So Cheshire, you notice some things kind of being out of place to a small degree. You see some movement kind of in the darker corners of the room. You hear the music that's playing almost all of a sudden get just a little bit louder to kind of make you think you're hearing things. And the rest of you don't hear or see anything of this happening.
I'm sure Wick's just used to it, so it's...
What things are out of place while the music's getting louder?
You saw some of the let's see. You see a four-fingered puppet that looks like it's kind of dancing in one of the darker corners. You see.
No. No, I don't. I see
Is this-
something else. Tell me what I
is this
actually see.
Is this just Cheshire's
Yeah.
right now? Okay.
Yeah.
I will not react to that.
And it's not like it's actually, sorry, not dancing. A four-fingered puppet. Oh, four-finger puppets depicting an arguing family. That's what it was.
When I said no, I didn't. I meant that I found the idea unpleasant, not that you were actually.
I'm having a hard time just reading today, apparently.
That's me all the time.
I know, right? So you see these kind of in the darker corner of the room on one of the workbenches, but it looks like they're moving a little bit. And that lion that had the blood-soaked mouth and the needles for teeth is not where it was.
You see it?
Not at the moment. It's just not where you remembered seeing it.
And to be clear, this is the one with the weird blood stains around where it was before.
Yes.
Right.
No. So the bloodstains were not on the table. The bloodstains were on its mouth.
Great. So I grab Sawyer by the shoulders and swiftly turn her so that she's facing away from me,
Oh,
and then put myself back to back with her. And say,
this is cool.
we're looking for a lion.
Okay. Like a big one.
No, but a bloody one. We're looking for a bloody
Okay.
lion.
So you both saw the lion whenever
Most
you
British
came
thing
in,
I've ever said.
but it's not there now. Just to
Yes.
make that clear.
And
Hey,
that's
Wick.
great. I want to know where that is. Because if I don't know where it is, like, oh, I saw a spider in here 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Wick, do you know where the bloody lion is?
Do I know where the bloody lion is?
Nope.
Okay, I'm dropping my things. Okay.
Wick just like looks at you, the side of his face, like you see his giant like golden eye like blink, and then he just nods. No.
Okay. I guess Sawyer will start kind of wandering the workspace, looking for it.
As Sawyer walks, Cheshire walks, like Boone walks with her to remain back to back.
You know, Cheshire, I actually really like this pose. It makes us look like badasses. I like it.
Great, awesome. It's
Yeah.
Ryan.
You know, there's nobody who can come up behind us because
At
I know
all.
you've got my back and I've got yours.
That's right, Needlemouth Lion, looking for that.
Yeah.
While you guys are walking back to
Oh,
back,
Wick! If I grab Wick by the scruff of the outfit, whatever Wick is wearing, like drag it into the triangle.
oh, so you're a triangle now.
No Kenku left behind.
So
He like
at,
throws up his little birdie hands, like
Oh, I like you, Wick. You're gonna fit in just fine.
so at this point, you all are kind of like you're looking for this lion, and you're back to back, and all at the same time, you all feel a very cold chill run up the back of your necks.
Don't do that. It tickles.
We feel something else, something pleasant.
that was not me.
Oh,
Hairy horny head is on a swivel, trying to find out what the source of that might be.
Sawyer is just gonna swing her arms around a little bit in the air, assuming it was somebody invisible, and is just like,
I have mage
Around
hands
the
ready
area.
to slap.
As you guys are continuing to kind of make your way around, the dustpan that the halfling was sweeping into almost just like explodes into a big cloud of dust right in front of Sawyer.
"Oh, gross! What's going on?"
You like you feel Wick's little like scaly birdie hand grab yours and grabs Cheshire's and just kind of like tries to pull you
Something touched
As-
me! Oh, wait, that's our new friend.
It's Wick. It's
Ryan.
Wick.
Sorry.
as like fast as he can towards the closest exit that he can hopefully see.
So the one that you see is the parlor door, and as you are kind of jolting in that direction, the door slams shut right in front of you.
I see.
It doesn't, Rob. It does something else. It stays wide open.
Oh, that's,
You're running this adventure all wrong, Rob.
Oh, I'm
Please,
sorry.
please.
God.
Just let
Okay,
us
I'm here to help.
leave.
Guys, we all make it out fine, and we find so much treasure.
We live happily ever after.
About the time the
Ori
door
is just living her
slams,
best life.
you all are kind of startled, and now you're all three staring at the door. And on the other side of the room, you hear what is a poorly mimicked version of a lion roar.
I mimic it back.
Cheshire found the lion.
Right? Love that fuss.
And then I lean over to Wick and I go, "That was a really good impression of it, though. Really impressed."
Like fluffs out and like pulls down his little like hood cowl. Like,
At this point, so are you guys still facing the door, or are you facing the workshop?
I've turned around with my back to the door at this point, knowing that there is a threat in the space.
And I am facing the door with my back to Sawyer.
I'm facing wherever the lion sound came from,
So
because I mimicked it right back.
So, over there, so you all are over there. You're not over there. You're staring kind of back at your workstation area that you were in. Cheshire's staring at the door. And again, almost all three at the same time, you all feel just like a little pinch on all of your butts.
Hey,
That was not the time,
who
Sawyer.
did that? Cheshire, stop it.
Didn't do
It
anything.
just like hangs his head.
You know, this has never happened before, and we did just bring in this child.
It's not me. It's not me. I didn't do
I've
this.
looked behind myself to see if there is any rogue butt pincher.
So yeah, there is no rogue butt pincher that you're aware of. All three of you go ahead and roll me another perception.
Oh boy.
My best stat.
I got a natural 20. Ha ha ha.
I got a 10.
What'd you get, Rob?
Let's find out. I'm re-rolling.
Oh.
I'd use one of my inspirations.
16.
Woo.
Okay.
Save.
So you two don't see what Wick is getting ready to see. Wick sees a very large lion with needle teeth just kind of moving towards you.
Didn't Maddie
it
roll
looks-
a natural 20?
I'm not there
You did.
yet. I'm not there
Okay,
yet.
fine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
So Wick, you see this giant lion. It looks like a stuffed animal with needle teeth, and it's coming at you. Almost think like a kind of like Scarecrow from Batman. You're seeing almost like a hallucination. Almost you're seeing what you're fearing, but it's not actually there. Type of situation.
Am I aware that I'm hallucinating?
I wouldn't say so. Because it's not like a hallucination. You just see this giant lion that was a stuffed animal at one point.
Because my first reaction is to kick it.
It's on the other side of the room moving towards you. It's not quite there yet.
Okay.
The other two of you see, or Cheshire sees a small lion with needle teeth, stuffed animal, almost just like scooting across the floor.
That sounds adorable.
Maddie's
Like the butt scoots
Yep.
the dogs
So-
do.
Cheshire, or not Cheshire, sorry. Sawyer sees the same lion moving across the floor, being pushed by what appears to be two boggles.
What's a boggle look like?
Yeah, what do the boggles look like?
I'm just gonna take a screenshot and try and loosely describe it. Copy. So it says they are primarily invisible unless they're caught, and they like to play pranks on
Oh, those little rapscallions.
they have a
Oh, they're horrifying.
bigger than their body head.
Boggle head.
It's a
Jack.
boggle head. They appear to be very wet and
impressed,
kind
I'm
of
sorry.
oily. But yeah, they are there to basically play pranks on you. So yeah, that's what you see.
Both of you just watch Sawyer go, yes! And I'm going to go forward, I'm going to pull out a little vial, and I'm going to try and wring out the boggle to get the boggle oil.
So you're gonna try and grab it.
I'm going to try to grab one of them.
Okay. I guess at this point, well, you know what? Let's go to break.
In the middle of ringing out this boggle, you just hear Scinn ring in your head. Just,
Man, I'm gonna have to quarantine after I've been in this room.
So, guys, bear with us just a few minutes. We're going to hit our normal break time. We're going to get up, stretch our legs, go to the bathroom, get drinks, get snacks. I'm going to see if I can talk my wife into going to Taco Bell, but don't tell her that. So, yeah, we got a new art reel coming up. We have a little promo video for the Monday night's game that showcases some of the characters and the art from that as well.
Who plays in that game? What cool people?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
Me and it's Ty.
Yeah, and our characters are best friends, and they're
basically the opposite
Best
of our
friend.
2 characters right now.
Yeah.
They have a secret handshake and everything. I mean, I assume.
Aw.
They absolutely do.
But if you guys want a chance to see your art and the art reel, fan art, pictures, cosplay, anything, make sure you post...
Cosplay.
What?
Someone cosplayed a character from our
my
stinking little
gosh.
D&D game on
I
Monday.
did
No
a
way.
mid-stream cosplay of Nimwin, and I almost cried.
Yep.
It's so cute.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
I see the person who drew the scale of punchability.
Yes. Yeah, Sawyer's punching scale. Icy has now also cosplayed Nimwin.
Oh, that's adorable. I want to see pictures of this. But send it to us. You can do hashtag, what was it? Misty or MMG art?
Misty Mountain Art or
art.
MMG Art. Yeah.
MMG art?
Because Misty Mountain was taken.
Send it to us.
Art of like Misty
you
Mountain.
tag-
What the hell?
If you tag one of us,
We will see
we're
it
gonna
and we
see
will
it like
share
10
it.
times faster, and we'll get
Yes.
really excited.
Truth.
So.
So stay tuned for these ads, and we will be back in just a few minutes, guys. Enjoy.
to me to talk to Scinn.
Yeah, I'm the only one who can do this, and it's driving me crazy.
What's up, guys? We are back. Snacks
Hello.
in hand. Wife is on Taco Bell run.
I'm ready to ring some boggles.
Rob has forgotten which button to push to talk. You know,
Time.
all these fun things are going on. But most of fun, during the break, I forgot to mention that our players, Sawyer, Cheshire, and Scinn, actually all leveled up when they met Granny Nightshade.
Yeah! Yay!
Surprise!
Woo!
So they've got some new fancy spells, some hit point additions,
Stunning strike. Let's go.
all
I'm
the
gonna
all the
stun
cool
everybody.
things.
It's not at all spell related, but I also have popcorn.
Oh, that sounds good.
Hey,
Popcorn does
Sawyer,
sound
how
good.
healthy are you right now? Like,
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to, 50.
On a scale of 1 to 50, my max is a 47, if you will. But currently, I'm feeling about a 43.
My max is a 33, you absolute unit.
I'm beefy. I'm real beefy.
She's real strong.
I don't know if you know me, but, like, I'm strong. Yes.
Ladies.
You're the smart
Ladies.
ones. It's fine. Anyway, on that, I'm gonna need Cheshire, Sawyer, and Wick to roll
Initiative?
initiative. That's the word.
Yeah!
That D&D type term.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Oh,
gonna be muted so that no one hears me crunching.
Do it.
It's been an inspiration again.
This is a
Yo, I
popcorn
rolled an
chewing
18.
ASMR
Oh.
stream.
Sorry, 21. 21.
Nice,
21 for me.
nice.
So ever since I got the alert feat, I think a couple levels back, I get a +5 bonus to my initiative, which means that this is a 27.
Real quick,
Oh,
because I forgot
yeah.
to make the announcement of this, because we were talking about the tarot card thing earlier. This is apparently mine.
Whoa!
It's so pretty.
It's
But
so
there's
cool.
there's all three rats. So here's Ori, and Lexi looking like the gremlin that she truly is on the inside,
Yeah.
like looking exceptionally unhinged, which is also very accurate.
Yeah.
And if
you.
chat wants to see more of those beautiful cards made by Sheepish Lamb, come join our community Discord, and they'll be in the fine
Yeah.
arts section.
Yes,
It's
There's
in
more of them.
It's in the chat. There's the link.
Wow.
there's more of them to look at.
Almost like it was magic.
The chat read my mind.
Okay, so we got a 23. Was that right, Wick? For your initiative?
Yes.
Sawyer?
27.
27. Rob? Or Cheshire?
30? No. I used an inspiration and a guidance, and I got
Oh.
a 12.
Nice.
Yeah, good job, Rob. Woohoo.
Okay.
No, it's fine. You're too much. You're too kind.
Everyone clap for Rob.
Okay, so Sawyer, as you leap forward, since you talked about that first, and you try to grab this boggle, go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check.
Oh, you got it. Not a problem at all. That's a 18 plus 6. What is that? 24?
Plenty that's what that is. So as you leap forward and you grab this boggle, it's slippery, almost like a fish you just pulled out of the lake. Like it's very slippery.
Sawyer's like, I knew it would be slippery. As she's like wrangling it.
So yeah, you have a boggle in hand. What are you doing with it?
I'm going to use my action to squeeze it and try to get some of the oil into a little vial that I have.
Okay.
So can I roll to attack with a squeeze?
Um,
Hey, Rob,
what's up?
I'm real glad that you're running for Sawyer and I'm running for Nimue.
You
Rob,
say that
I'm just-
now.
We're
Say
gonna take
that
this as a
now.
challenge to make Monday games even crazier.
You don't have to do. That's fine. You
Listen, we already let
We don't need
We
to
already let
challenge this
Crash
one
and
at all. This
Ellie-
is definitely like the Walmart
Yeah,
version
like,
of D&D
it's
wannabe.
fine. It's fine.
we already used Crash and Ellie as a scapegoat to get out the town easier, and we ran
It's
off.
true.
So like
Yeah.
that's tame for these two.
Go ahead and roll me a
Like an unarmed attack sort of
Is-
dealio.
No, you don't even need to do that.
Oh, okay.
A D3? Are those a thing?
A D3?
D4 and reroll 4s,
Oh, okay.
Okay,
or a D6 and half the result.
Well, that's easy. I got a 3.
perfect. So as you're squeezing this this boggle, you see probably about 3 ounces worth of this oil, real thick, just kind of like run down his leg into the bottle,
That's a little odd.
and it's just kind
I'm
of
uncomfortable.
it's just kind of like dripping down to this bottle.
Like,
Consistency of like syrup, like
Okay,
warm syrup. I
alright.
would
It's gonna
say.
like make it worse, but like I'm picturing when people get those giant pickles at the movie theater and you're pulling it out and it's
Oh
dripping.
yeah. So Sawyer like throws that boggle down and looks at the vial and she's like, "It's not enough." And with my level up, I get 2 attacks. So I'm gonna grab the other boggle and do the same thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll another acrobatics check to see if you can grab a hold of it.
Absolutely. Oh my god, I rolled a 19 plus 6.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez. Okay, so you very successfully grab this other boggle and roll a d3 to see how much
Okay,
oil.
that's a 4 that time, so I will re-roll. That's another 4. Wow, I'm so lucky. That's a 2.
A 2. Okay, so you get about 2 more ounces worth of oil,
Okay,
just kind of running down this boggle's leg, and he's screaming like ah! as it's coming down.
Thank you, and I throw it,
As
and
you
I cap it.
as you throw
I have
down
my oil.
where is okay, there it is.
Gwyneth is gonna be so proud of me, Cheshire. You see this? Look at all this.
This is a good time to ask. Wick and I didn't see boggles.
You did not.
What
You
what
just
do
saw
we
her
what
go
is going on from our perspective?
You see well, Wick sees a giant scary lion in front of him. You see a little teddy bear lion on the floor, and you see what appears to be Sawyer just like
Squeezing oil out of the air. It's like filling up the vial. You
Yeah.
watch just nothing getting squeezed, and then the bottle fills up.
as
She looks over at you guys, and she's like,
as you do that,
I've drank that tea.
these two the two boggle bodies that you threw on the floor that were lifeless when you threw them there, as you're turning around showing Cheshire your little bottle of oil, they kick you in the shin, because they in the Feywild they came back to life.
"Ooh."
They kick you in the shin, and then they start pitter patter running as fast as they can out the other end of the workshop.
I'm gonna use my movement since it is still my turn to chase after them, and that will be the end of my turn.
Okay. Wick.
We got to follow the
Oi.
boggles, you guys.
No, Sawyer, you broke formation.
Oh, oh, oh.
Wick, what's going on with your turn?
All right. So you said the lion was charging at me.
Not charging, but it is large and looks like it's moving towards you.
I dip.
Okay.
Flat out, I run away.
Which way are you running?
Away from the lion.
So directly behind you towards the door.
I will
that's
run
slammed.
into the door.
That's
Sure.
That's exactly what you do. You run right behind you to that door, and it is not opening.
Does my beak get stuck?
I wouldn't say you had enough momentum to get it to stick, because it might have only been like 5 or 6 feet. But it definitely almost stunned you because you were expected it to swing open. Cheshire, what's going on with your perception of what just happened?
Real quick, Sarah, who has been a supporter of ours in the chat for months now, is being bothered by ads watching our little stream, which is not a thing that bothers subscribers. So Sheepy, our tarot artist, just bought her a subscription, so she didn't have to be bothered by ads
Sheepy.
anymore.
Nice.
You're so good.
Oh,
You're so wholesome.
sweet.
Ads really are the worst.
They really are.
What a gal. What a gal. So a little lion is scooting itself across the floor. Sawyer is running away shouting, "We gotta catch the boggles," and I see no boggles. And then our new friend, Wick, at the sight of this little lion scooting its butt across the floor, is running through at a door behind me. Did she make it out the door?
No, he just hit the door and kind of got knocked back.
I opened the door for her.
The door is locked.
For him. Ah, damn it. I broke my last lockpick.
It probably was coherent.
Wick is boy, Wick is girl. Rob
Wick is
unclear.
boy.
Wick is boy.
Okay.
So also my first boy character ever.
Nice.
Mine? No, actually, no. Can I pick up Wick?
Aw.
Aw.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'll crook my elbow under his little butt, and we'll both shake a tail feather after Sawyer, because Sawyer seems to be the only person that knows what's going on right now and has a sense of urgency. And Sawyer broke formation, and I want to get back in formation.
Aw. Sorry.
And I move. I think I move as fast as Sawyer does. I've got 35 feet of movement.
I've got 40.
Ah, well, then I will run just fast enough to be in the spot behind you. And, let's see, nobody's hurt. I'll dodge with my action. Well, I guess I picked up the bird as an action, so that is, I'll stop my turn there.
Okay. So at this point, Sawyer, you see the door in front of you swing, just kind of swing open and then close, directly in the way that you were chasing. You don't see the boggles, but you see the door open and then close.
Boggles. And I'm gonna try and open the door to keep following them.
How are you opening the door? Are you being aggressive with it? Are you sneaking in? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm super aggressive, offensive. I'm going straight for them.
Okay.
It might not be the smartest choice, but I've never said Sawyer was smart.
No, you're fine. It's all good.
Smash the fucking door. Smash it.
How do I determine how many there are? So, as you burst through this door,
Oh, boggles!
that is what you're expecting to see, but instead you see 10 brightly painted structures resembling little houses that are lining the walls of the room. Each small house has a 3-foot high hinged door. 4 of the doors are open and 6 are closed. There's a narrow staircase that ascends the circular wall. And near the foot of the stairs is a painted wooden box 3 feet on a side with pictures of children painted on each side. And a crank that protrudes from one side of it,
Oh no,
causing
not
it to
again.
resemble an oversized Jack in the Box.
Not again, Rob.
But that's the room description.
Okay.
As you burst through, you see this, but there are also a troop of little tin soldiers, essentially. They have big puffy shoulders, like red and white striped, red and white pants. I'm trying to describe what the hat looks like, but it's like
Is it the big tall ones?
It's not the black hat from the last witch's house, is it?
no, it's not. But it's
The dark mantle. Rob.
It's a metal hat. Think like medieval style, like the guys that would have like the pikes. I don't know what kind of hat that would be.
Okay.
And they all have different styles of mustaches and goatees painted on their faces.
How charming.
There are also 10 of them in kind of a almost practicing like a drill or a formation of some sort in this room. But they are armed. So you burst in chasing after these boggles, and
I shout boggles.
you shouted boggles, and you hear what appears to be the leader of these 10 soldiers finish up giving a command to him. 10 hut! And they all snap to attention. The armor all clanks together simultaneously, and you were being stared down by a formation of 10 soldiers.
I am looking for the boggles that just ran through this door. Please point me in the right direction, and I salute them.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You cannot be in here. This is private property.
Can I look past them at the houses and see if they're like slimy with boggle oil, as if the boggles live in the houses?
Roll me a perception.
$15.
So you don't see any oil on the houses.
Okay.
You do see some oil on the Jack in the Box.
Oh. How tall are these toy soldiers?
They are. You're just full of questions tonight.
I just, I want to know what's going on around me.
You're totally fine. You're totally fine. I would say they're about 4 feet tall.
Okay. That's pretty tall for toy soldiers. I
I'd
was
say
expecting to
anything
be able to
about
step
toys.
over them. Oh. I'm just gonna try and walk around them to get to the Jack in the Box.
As you're trying to step by, they pull their weaponry to the side, and they're definitely blocking. And the leader says, "Miss, I told you you are not welcome in here. You need to turn around and go." And you start to hear a drum, kind of like boom, 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 boom.
I look down at them and I say, Granny Nightshade said I could be anywhere here except a bedroom. So this counts too.
All right. He's going to do an insight check on you with advantage. Do you want to try and contest that with a deception?
I mean, Sawyer doesn't feel like she's deceiving anybody. Granny Nightshade said that we could search wherever we wanted
Sure.
except her bedroom. So that's what she's saying.
You could
True.
roll a persuasion.
I
Yeah.
could roll a persuasion.
Yeah.
Would you prefer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 14.
You
Okay.
have a inspiration or a guidance? Because I will give you
Oh
one
my
of mine.
gosh. So true. I'm going to use inspiration. Oh, that's great. 17, and I'm going to add a guidance to it.
This is
30,
what the people
20.
pay for.
I always forget about them, so thank you. Yeah, so with that inspiration and guidance, I now have a non-natural 20.
So he looks at you uncertain, like seems fishy, but he's like, "All right, men, stand down," and they all kind of
Yeah.
snap back to attention.
It's right. Stand down. Excuse me. Thank you, officer. And I'm gonna step around them. And can I try to lift the lid without doing the side crank?
You can try, but it doesn't budge.
Okay. Then I will.
But there is definitely oil on the top and the
I'm
front
gonna-
of the box.
Instead of facing the box and like cranking it from the side, I'm gonna step to the side and crank it. So when they open, I won't be directly at the front. And I will
Be
crank
facing
through
the
it.
door that your other two friends are coming.
So,
And I'll crank as I feel like that was really long if we're still in initiative, so I will pass it on to my compatriots if that's the case.
so I don't want to say we're in initiative, but we kind of are. But they did say okay, and they stood down. So, yeah. What are you two doing? Holding.
Do we see the soldiers and the Jack in the Box? We didn't see the boggle.
Yeah.
Hear this conversation?
Yeah, no, you definitely see the soldiers after you barged in. You see the Jack in the Box. You see the tin houses with some of the doors closed.
Wick hides behind Cheshire's legs because he's scared that he's not supposed to be in there.
Oh.
Cheshire is releasing a thunder wave that
Oh.
was was almost cast. I had the somatic components ready. I look around real quick. Have I any idea where Scinn got off to? Is Scinn visible from where I am?
No, he's technically on the floor above you. But
Okay.
Cheshire would not know
Right.
that.
In this room, there's these people blocking us. Like, what other exits are there from this room? Like, where could one go from here?
So, you have the stairs that are directly to your left that kind of go upward. There's a little landing with a room off to it, and then the stairs continued to go up, which appears to be another floor. And then there's a door directly across from you.
I'll turn to Wick behind my legs. Do you know where any of these go?
Would I actually know where they go?
You would know that the floor above is is where
Daddy, wait.
you sleep.
A spicy
Sorry,
Taco
I was-
Bell
I was
bitch
scheming.
enters the tavern. Doing a little quesadillas.
Hello.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
My wife.
That's my wife. She's very nice.
Wick points to the stairs and he's like, this is where we sleep.
Okay.
I don't know where the other doors go.
Let's find out. And I will once again reach down and grab the back of Wick's belt. Step around soldiers, step past Jack in the Box, step past Sawyer.
He
And,
tries to look like a bag. Wick just tries his hardest to look like a bag.
When we get over there, I'll set Wick down, and I will try the door on the far side of the room, if I can reach it.
Okay. Let me see. Sorry, guys. So the door across appears like it's unlocked. You're able to open it without any kind of issue.
Ooh, what? I do that. What's on the other side of it?
It is a long hallway that there are.
The best kind.
I know, right? There's one door on the left side of the hallway, 2 doors on the right side of the hallway, and 1 at the end of the hallway.
I will kneel down and face slightly to my left and look Wick in the eye and say, "Right, Wick. I feel like we're the smart ones of the group. So, as equals, as adults, we're going to open some of these doors. We're going to find out what is beyond them. And we're going to do so one by one in order. And we are going to determine who opens the first door like reasonable people."
You see another little fist, like mage hand fist, pop up.
I feel like that's cheating anyway.
Wait, no! I need to count!
I can't hold down push to talk. You count.
Here, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wait,
Okay,
fuck,
we're starting
I
this
fucked
over.
up.
Okay, we're gonna do a 3, 2, 1. I'll
Okay.
say go. On go is when. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
I risk the life of a child.
parchment beats boulder.
That's right. Well, the good news is that you get to pick which door. The one on the left, the two on the right, or the one at the end.
So, as all of that was happening, another mage hand already opened, like, one of the doors, the one on the left.
Okay. I mean, you're not able to see. It's a little ways down the hall, so you're not able to see in there until you get up there.
As far as Cheshire's concerned, the door creaks itself open.
The door creaks itself open. As you look down the hallway, you see a small cluster of moths that are around a lantern that's hanging from the ceiling in the middle of the hallway. It's because they're kind of fluttering around it. It's casting some small shadows on the walls. They look kind of creepy. The hall, like I said, it has the 3 doors along the walls, and there's a heavier hinged door at the end of the hall. I didn't read that earlier, but I should have.
Well, I will reach down and I will take the hand of the small bird child, and I will tip hoof as he tip claws towards the left.
You just see, like,
door.
large, and then you just hear click, 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 click.
And at that note, back to Scinn.
Yes!
What has our little guy been up to out in the world?
So
Shenanigans.
Scinn was looking into this book that has a silver bookmark in it. The title of the book is 50 Things to Do with a Dead Lich.
Wow, so
That's some
versatile.
heavy reading for a child.
wow.
I need to read that book.
Ian's just gonna slide that off of the table. Just
Gonna save that for later. So, I'm here often, kid. I don't know how to talk to children.
He seems to be just dead quiet. But
Wake up.
he's awake.
Wake
Or
up,
not
don't go
awake.
near the light. Come on
He's
now.
Almost like he's in a coma.
That might be a problem. know how to fix this, okay? It's the way I fix everything like this. Don't worry, little guy. I'll be just fine. Cheshire!
He starts screaming like he did out in the hall or out in the woods for Sawyer. He starts screaming for Cheshire.
As Cheshire is creeping down the hallway, he hears Scinn scream for him, and Sawyer, as you're starting to crank the jack-in-the-box, you hear Scinn scream for Cheshire.
Cheshire, you got to answer Scinn.
I am bewildered that I am the one that he called for.
You just got to say his name back.
The screaming is a scream of panic, is a scream of fear, is a scream of
Mostly just like a
annoyance.
just calling for your name. Just kind of like think about like if somebody's like calling someone up. It's just like,
Cheshire. Cheshire here now. Thanks.
This isn't about my present.
There's a kid that's dying up here. I think you might fix them.
Oh God. I need to go. Said up here. I'm going to go up the stairs. Do you want to continue looking you do what you want to do.
I just
I'm sure you're a
will
capable
finish
adult.
this. So
I was talking to Wick. Actually, you seem busy.
Oh,
I'm going to run up the stairs now.
So
Oh,
So I run
think
up the
that might have
stairs
been
now.
The final breath.
to get to the stairs, you have to pass Sawyer, who is cranking the jack-in-the-box.
Yep.
And as you're getting to it, you're hearing do 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 do, and it's like those last few notes that do 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 do, and I can only imagine you're kind of panicked at this point. You're almost running up the stairs as fast as you can, and as you get to like 2 or 3 steps up, it hits that last note. The door pops open. Nothing comes out.
dang it! No. Don't worry, Cheshire, we're coming. You ready,
wasn't-
Wick?
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that there wasn't Jack in that box?
There wasn't
There
Jack in
wasn't
that
Jack
box.
in that box.
I'll get more boggles later. I say to Wick as I thumbs up.
Sarah Scinn is just like holding one hand, just patting it,
Just like, don't worry, buddy. Just don't go towards the light. It's gonna be fine. Just don't go towards the light. I learned that earlier today that you don't go towards the light.
There is not casting message, by the way. He runs to the top of the stairs and just says, "Where are you?"
Over here.
And you'll run in the direction of the squeaky voice.
Here, Marco.
What? I'm supposed to say Marco.
You
Oh,
hear
wow.
a very faint polo from downstairs. Oh no.
All right. So Sawyer's downstairs, Cheshire and Scinn are upstairs. Is Wick downstairs or upstairs?
Wick would be with Sawyer at this point.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Sawyer would suggest at this point for us to join them upstairs. So.
Okay. So as
Hold your leg.
Sawyer rounds the corner, he
We'll hold
sees
hands.
Scinn holding like this very sweaty, sleeping child dwarf's hand that is just kind of unresponsive.
I was talking 5 minutes ago. I promise I didn't do this.
There's not enough fire around here for it to be a sea anything.
See, you understand how I work. No, I don't know what's wrong with him. Some other kid went to get water. He never came back, so I think he just bailed on me and left me with this. I know where Granny's room is, kinda now. So somebody just fix this one here. I think he's gotta vomit or he's gotta poop or something like that, and then he'll be fine. So just make sure you're good at like the healing of the hands. So do your. I wish I could do it, but these hands like just bring destruction.
I know that.
Yeah, these
Wick
tiny little
just like
fingers.
mimics.
These
Tiny
kids,
little fingers.
kids
just
in
fuck
front of the
things
door,
like chaos.
and this is all being explained. Cheshire, just from the doorway, will just, as a blanket statement entering the room, will cast Healing Word on the child, just in case that would at all help the problem.
Let's see. Excuse me.
Don't die!
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Well, healing word you instead.
I don't know if it's a hit point kind of problem, but if it's a hit point kind of problem, he will get 7 hit points back.
Wow.
That's max.
Does out of game, does healing word neutralize poison?
It doesn't. It just gives hit points back if you're missing any.
Okay.
Trying to remember what you do need. I don't remember what the spell is. Let me look it up for you just so that we know.
So healing
Well,
word.
that does what? Neutralize poison? That's lesser restoration.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one that I almost took when I leveled up to 5 at the break and did not. Instead, I took Dispel Magic.
From what you're able to tell, your healing word doesn't really do anything for him. He's still unconscious.
Very unhealthy unconscious. Well, I will run up and I will try and do a medicine check on the boy while I am there.
Okay.
Determine what's physically wrong with him, if anything.
Okay. What is your passive wisdom?
Passive wisdom, no skills, would be...
Wisdom and, I guess, plus medicine?
It would be a 12.
Okay.
Unless I roll.
Nope, you're fine. From what you can tell, the dwarf is poisoned from eating something. And he only appears to have about 2 hours left of living unless he is cured of the poison.
Reach over and I will grab Scinn by his sleeve and pull him dramatically towards my face and say, "This child has only 2 hours left to live. He has been poisoned. If we don't find the antidote, he will die."
I get what you're saying. I think Granny has the antidote, because I know where her room is now.
That is worth checking.
And onward to Granny's.
He's gonna like wiggle himself free from you, and he's gonna like hover over this dwarf's face and like put his tiny hands out, just like,
Don't you worry, sweet angel, we're gonna fix you.
and then he's gonna fly away.
Sawyer squeezes Wick's hand and like wipes a fake tear and goes, "That's so dramatic. It's beautiful."
Before Cheshire
this
runs
moment.
away, he's gonna turn the child, like lean the child over the edge of the bed and try and induce vomiting. Just in case.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if the kid is poisoned that it's an ingested thing.
It is. Unfortunately, he throws up. But did you have him on his side or?
It's a child, you know. I feel like I'm in control of an unconscious child's body. I turned him over onto his stomach and leaned his head up over the edge of the bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he does
Imagine
throw
you're
up.
just kind of like doing that.
He does throw up, but he's still in a coma.
Imagine that helped, and I will run after Scinn.
Well, whoever water told me that her room was on the other side of the place.
All right, come on, Wick, let's go. And I'm still like holding your hand, and we're like cruising behind the other two.
So you get back
He's
down.
probably got the slowest speed out of everybody, but regardless, he's in the front. So
As you're going down the stairs, you get to the bottom and you see the Jack in the Box is now open. The soldiers have kind of spread out and they've kind of gone out on their patrol duties, so the room is empty at this point.
Yeah,
Can I
there
do,
were no boggles in there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering if I could do like a quick scan of the room to see if there's maybe like a tin soldier schedule so we know where they're posted.
Mm. Smart.
Wait, have you played D&D before? Or
What?
While you're looking for that, Cian's has landed on the ground in the middle of the room, as much as the middle as he can get.
Be like, all right, guys, just follow my lead. Been sneaking around this whole place. Not found anything yet, but that doesn't change the fact that I've been sneaking around this whole place. Just gotta be
Reggie.
stealthy.
I follow
Which
your lead
point-
anywhere.
Point he starts to walk off, and you definitely hear the as he's go.
You don't see a schedule posted anywhere, but you do notice that all of the houses that are decorating the room, they're all the doors are closed on them now.
I pointed out to Sawyer. I kind of just pull
Yeah,
Sawyer's
hey.
hand. And all the doors are closed.
Do you think that
Like-
means they're all gone? It's a good sign though, because there was some open before. Good eye, Wick.
Are you going towards the hallway that you explored earlier, Cheshire and Wick? Or sorry, Cian was leading. Are you going to that door?
He's going to whatever seems to be the direction you need to go across this building, as he was told. So if
Okay.
it seems like that door,
That-
then yes.
Yeah, that would be the right direction. So you get down, you enter the hallway, the others very quickly behind you, and you notice that the door on the left is kind of creaked open. Same image, you see kind of some fluttering shadows from the moth that are kind of decorating the walls now. And then you see two doors on the right and then one at the far end of the hallway that seems to be sturdier than the others.
Going straight to the one at the end of the hallway, passes by the one that's creaked open. He goes, I don't know what's in there. I don't got time. Dingo's ate my baby. He just keeps going.
As you get to the door at the end, it is locked.
I know how to fix this. Sawyer!
Yeah, I'm covered.
I need you to punch this open.
Thought you'd never ask. And I'll
Starts
punch the
rubbing your
door.
shoulders like they do with wrestlers. Just
You got this.
I'm ready.
This.
I've got this. Oh,
Um,
and I'll punch the
roll
door.
me a strength check.
Okay.
You want to say hi, considering you're out for being a gremlin?
17.
Hello, Gremlin.
Okay.
I just heard
Oh,
everybody screaming
can
back
I-
there, and it was her.
Can
I'm
I add a
shouting at
guidance to
everyone.
that?
Sure.
You being tiny little antagonistic
30-20.
Oh wow!
Okay. So you make solid contact with this door. I would even say you go pop, pop, pop. Like you're punching at the hinges. You're checking different weak points, which you deem on the door, but it doesn't you can tell it's almost like it's barred, but you can definitely tell it's locked.
Seeing. I can punch good doors, but I can't punch a good lock. It's definitely locked. I could try to charge it or something, but it seems pretty
Or,
good.
because I don't want you to get hurt, I can always just blast it.
Yeah, I softened it up a little. I think a blast would do
I'm
good.
sure you
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Buttered it up good. Yeah.
I will do a first level chaos bolt, and I will do what type of damage do I want to do? I'm gonna
Door
do
damage.
thunder. I'm gonna do thunder damage because that feels a little more force-ish than poison or something like
Thunder.
that. Here, this is what you're known for. Would you like to do this, little miss?
Lexi, go!
That is a nat Vexy!
Oh,
How do you always do this? It's let me turn back to my screen so that I can show everybody my Misty Mountain dice in which she
yeah,
20s.
Vexy.
Oh, I like the iridescent cleric. Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah, these I really like.
Oh,
I like how
That's what I was
the
gonna get.
metal dice are actually just too heavy for her to hold. So she just dropped it.
You need
We
to take
were
Vex
bragging
to the
about
casino
her.
and start playing some roulette.
This one though is perfect for her.
Some
She
craps,
actually will
maybe?
grab.
He grabs the little handles.
Yeah, she has
No,
little
but-
handlebars.
The whole con weekend, we were bragging about her to everybody who came up. We were like, yeah, there's a lucky rat on the stream.
Yep.
So describe to me what it looks like when you're casting this on the door.
So Chaos Bolt would be 2d8. Should I even roll my damage?
No.
That would technically go up to 48.
No, that's okay.
Okay, I'll do it for myself in a second out of brevity. But yeah, but Scinn like turns the hype man around of like massaging Sawyer's shoulders for her to punch better, to like massaging his own shoulders and be like, "You got this." No one puts baby in a corner, and just like and like spins it out.
So
It's just a big thunder clap, essentially. Like not the spell thunder clap, but that's probably what it sounds like as it smacks onto this door.
So as you connect with this door, it's almost like the door is enchanted, but it almost like soaks up the magic and doesn't appear damaged.
Just want to see how much damage I did just do. You don't need to help me with it. Here, sniff them so you know what they are. Oh,
She wants to help.
And does that qualify for chaos wild magic?
it does, so I gotta see if one happens.
Ooh, maybe that'll help.
Oh gosh, I got a 6 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2. Can you stop? I don't need you to lick my mouth. That's really nasty. Yeah, so 15
Yes.
in damages.
Kissing, how unhygienic.
I mean, Misfit already knows because I told her that she has a habit of licking feet because she's just gross.
does
Vex
too.
is just a little weirdo, and I love her.
She really is. Oh, that's a 2. Oh no. Oh no. Let me pull my wild magic chart. Good. Continue while I find out what I've
Yep,
done to myself.
while you're looking at that,
Are we
has
here, by the way?
what?
Are we here to see this
followed
happen?
us.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
I was
so
just
we
getting ready to
see a
ask, have you
Ooh,
crossed?
that's a high number.
You're in the room whenever CN casts it, but how far up the hallway have you progressed?
I'm following right behind everyone.
Have
if I can
you-
keep up.
Have you passed the creaked open door?
If they have, then we have, or I have.
We're all together now.
Okay.
Oh, you're scratching me.
Okay. So I would say you're about halfway down the hallway. You have passed the door.
Oh no! Oh no! It's not bad, it's just funny. I rolled a 93, so your size increases by 1 size category for 1 minute. So you watch this get cast, and then he turns to you and he goes,
I feel like I'm getting a little bit like indigestion, and suddenly she's like,
and he's like not as big as you, not as tall, but like he's like a halfling size now.
See, look at you.
Every
I don't
time
like
we go to a hag house, someone gets taller. It happens every time.
You're like
don't-
regular people size.
I don't like it. I don't know if I can reach my feet. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm so far away.
So as this is happening,
Starts doing like the Twilight of like
I can see everything.
but he's only taller. That's it.
as this is happening, Cheshire feels a frightening presence and also a comfort that he has felt and missed, coming from the door that is creaked open. No noises, just a a pulling sensation towards that room.
Just
Walks-
leans back.
Walks past it, walks a few
Looks in.
steps back.
Put it in reverse.
What's in that room, Rob?
So as you push the door open, it's almost like on purpose that door was meant to creak, because as it opens, it's very, very dark in there. It's almost like the windows. It's part of the tree on the outside that the sunlight is just kind of barely coming through, but it's a very dark room. You see, some crates, some boxes, some barrels, but specifically the first thing that caught your eye is the silhouette of a smallish figure in the middle of the room.
Smallish, like former CN or like Wick? Is it bigger than a bread box?
Yes. Smallish as in like a small ghoulish sized girl that may or may not have worn a pig mask.
Darn it. It's Ghost Pig.
So pig.
Peppa.
It's Peppa.
It's Peppa's sister.
Peppa.
Salt.
I love hearing about Peppa because I have a friend who's originally from China, and Peppa Pig is banned in China.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What did Peppa do?
Peppa, no.
Peppa, why?
Help me remember 12 sessions ago. Sopig was haunting around the mime's House of Illusions,
Correct.
talking to a little gnome child. And we were told later on that they were at least in part responsible for like harassing people around the carnival.
Yep.
They were, if I remember correctly, there were some that were getting the deals for people to sneak in without circus heads necessarily knowing. Is that what I remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Part of me wants to do the Zap Brannigan. So big. Once again, we meet at last. Cheshire will, like, gently with his hand push the door all the way open. Aside from the ghoulish pig child, what else is in here? It's not just an empty room with a little girl, is it?
There's some crates and barrels along the walls. Mainly looks to be storage for the most part.
Look in the door. Is she doing anything?
She's silent and unmoving. She's just standing there facing away from you.
Hey, that's not yours. It's not yours.
I look in the door and I say, "That'll do, pig."
Is that a popcorn?
She just stole this out of my hand. She's a tyrant tonight. Okay. Yeah, that's yours now. Enjoy it.
So you say, "That'll do, pig," and she just kind of looks over out of the corner of her eye over her shoulder and says, "Oh, so you found your way here."
You did too.
I didn't think I was ever going to see you again.
I was frankly hoping you'd be right.
Well, it happens, you know. Is there something I can help you with? Does Granny have more chores that need to be done?
We're looking for an antidote.
An antidote for what?
Poison?
I don't have any of those.
What do you have?
I mean, everything that I have, I've given to Granny. She keeps it in her stash.
In her bedroom?
No, in her bathroom.
Did you find what the bathroom is? You're older than you look, aren't you?
What does being old have anything to do with me? I'm just a little girl.
I don't think so. This might be a strange thing for a full-grown adult to say to someone who looks like a child, but I don't like you.
Well, you know, I like, well, I liked stealing from you.
See, that's the thing. You haven't stolen, not as an adult. You would have to be younger.
I don't have to be anything.
Does Wick hear this?
From the other side of the other side of the door, yeah. You don't see it, but you do hear it.
Oh, I'm totally mage handing him. I want to rifle through his pockets. Not Cheshire's, the little pig thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna rifle through some pockets. He said stole. I'm only stealing from a stealer. Don't feel bad about it? Kind of feel bad about it.
Sorry, I'm trying to find something very specific.
The drama of it all.
I know, right?
Okay, this is
She's very
this is
sassy.
moving. This has to move because someone has figured out where it is.
Popcorn gremlin.
I hate that there's. I wish they would. You know, I hate having to come up with lines, so I'm looking for stuff that she would say.
While all of this is happening, Sawyer is just like squaring up and sizing up the door, and she's like squinting at the hinges and the doorknob because she doesn't understand magic.
Yeah.
But there's clearly
Yeah.
some sort of magic locking this door.
I mean, I can
Sienna's
try to pick
standing
the
next
lock.
to you. Sienna's standing next to you, just going like,
Whew.
Feel like we could still break this thing. The two of us combined. With your sudden biggerness as well.
Should we bum rush it?
Let's go.
everyone in chat says you deserve popcorn, you little turd. So here.
The way
Oh.
she just
Oh,
fully
God.
shoves it in her mouth.
No. Hey, Sprinkle. I don't know if you would permit this while you're looking up stuff, Rob, or if
Yeah.
this is happening too simultaneously, or if
I'm ready to give up on this, but
Wick rifling through stuff. As we're having this exchange with Soap Big, I know time is of the essence for the child here in the sick bay.
Mm-hmm.
So I will poke my head back out into the hallway, look to my right towards that door, and I will cast Dispel Magic on it before they do whatever they are about to do.
We definitely don't notice that, and we still bum rush the door.
You do bum rush the door.
Billy CN does.
Together.
But just
Yeah.
just like you did previously, you just kind of bounce off of it.
We have raiders, by the way.
Welcome.
Oh,
Raiders.
no,
Spell magic.
Raiders!
Welcome.
Yay!
Hey guys.
Half
About
of us
the
are
bum
Phalanx
fighting a
is raiding
door.
us. Oh, we
Yeah.
got a follow out of it. Thank you, Timmy.
Yeah.
You've also welcome brand new people. We have a rat here,
She's a lucky rat. She rolls natural 20s.
and she's not
All
being
the
a turd.
time.
And she's
You
not
also
being a
to
turd.
egg
When she's not
glasses and
popcorn
storytime at
thieving.
Omegas for the follows. Welcome to the party.
Ah,
are we-
friends.
Exie, what are we doing? Why?
So
Do
pig.
you know dispel magic? Does it have any effect?
It doesn't. Not that you're able to see. As the other two bum rush the door, they just kind of bounce off of it, as being able to tell that it's physically locked.
I feel like we almost got it.
It's where my shoulder hurts.
Yeah, mine too.
We're
a little
definitely knocking it down. Yep.
He like stands up and like you hear like part of his back crack, and he's like,
I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure that's
It's
fine.
normal. That's normal.
Right about
For
that
sure.
time, you guys start to kind of smell fresh bread, some potatoes, maybe some bacon of sorts, or a meat maybe, coming from the other side of the door.
Interesting. Oh,
I wasn't there. I was gonna say I wasn't there, but I'm putting as a player things together.
Hey guys, I think we found the kitchen. Whatever you're done in that room there.
But why would they
Wait.
lock the kitchen?
Wick pulls out the key that he stole. It thinks I have the key.
Who are you,
Come
by the way? I'm sorry. I just noticed you were here. That's poor manners on my part. I was a bit distracted by the dying child.
It's okay. I use the dark colors. I blend in. He like strikes a pose to try to look scary.
Oh, intimidating.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, brother! Let's just.
It's like two equally hyped people right now that are like,
I'm standing like looking down at both of you, and I'm just like, oh, it's the most intimidating pair I've ever seen.
As
it's
you
like the voguing. It's just like,
as you guys are having your pose off, So Pig is talking to Cheshire and says, "If you're missing something. You're something that I took from you. You can find it here."
No, the eye colors I gave away. You didn't take that from me.
Did I get anything from rifling through their pockets?
Nope, she had nothing on her. And she's looking at you and it's like, I like jokes. Do you like jokes?
Depends on the joke.
You know what? Why don't you tell me a joke and I'll tell you what's on how you can save that child up there, or at least what could have caused it.
I'm watching her
Alright.
little teeth around it, and I can see her tongue going all over.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who?
What'd you say?
Who?
Who?
Ah, I thought you were a pig, not an owl.
She bursts into laughter, biggest smile, and just cracking up, and then immediately turns it off and says, "I can do that, can you?"
Oh.
It's rude. Shots fired.
If you're talking, I can't hear you, by the way.
He laughs and then says, I can laugh.
Oh. Laughing's fun. Brings happiness, joy. Sometimes, it can even make you crack a smile.
I like making other people smile.
I mean, that's good. You made me smile. And it wasn't your joke. She kind of looks you up and down, judging your appearance a little bit. Saying, you know what? You told me a joke. Let me tell you a joke. Let's see if we can get you to smile. And she's thinking on it. She's like, why do paladins wear armor? Or, sorry, I messed that one up. Why do paladins wear chainmail?
Cheshire takes the lingering bits of tape off of his face that were forcing him to smile, and starts wadding them up in one hand, and with his left hand draws the ice scimitar. Says, I didn't ask for a joke. Your deal was I tell you one, you tell me how to save a child's life. I'm not ready to hear your tight five. If you know how to save a child's life, you're going to tell me, one way or another.
Yeah. Unless you're able to cure poison or get a mushroom of sorts. I'm afraid his time is running very short. I watched the fool eat some nightshade out of the garden. She's very just emotionless and just almost like a husk of a person, essentially.
You know, when I first saw you, I thought you were a ghost. I don't know that you are you aren't. What I do know, that you're a thief. And someone content to watch a child poison themselves. And knowing that a child is poisoned will do nothing to save them. So you're a terrible person. So, do ghosts freeze?
Honestly, I'm not a ghost, so I don't know.
Let's change that, shall we? And I'll attack the pig with my scimitar.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh, that was so cool.
Peppa's about to be bacon.
I don't know if it's initiative or what is going on, but it is 10.
It is. You know what? That's where we'll call it. That's a good wrap up for the night,
Something incredibly serious happening in one room, and then three idiots down on the other end of the hall trying to
flexing,
rush the
smelling
door.
bacon. I'm the strong one. No, I'm the strong. No, we're all strong ones.
Yeah.
Would this campaign have it any other way?
Absolutely
No.
not. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in for us again this week. I believe, was it this week that Misfit was going to be doing a Friday
Yes,
stream?
this Friday.
Awesome.
Friday.
Friday.
An
Come talk D&D with me.
interview, I believe. Is that right?
Yes. I will be
Perfect.
interviewing a D&D comic book artist.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. Monday night, we have the other campaign going on that not this Rob is doing, but the Rob down there. He's running that campaign for two of the people. These two I can't point on camera. It's mirrored.
Me and
Whatever.
Ty.
Maddie and Ty are running characters in that game. I poked my head in a couple times when they were playing this week, and I'm not quite sure what's going on, but they all seem to be enjoying it.
Can you release?
But I definitely recommend checking out all of that and coming back next Wednesday whenever we are live again here. Did I
Oh my god. Are
miss
you
anything,
kidding me,
Rob?
Vex?
Did she roll another
She
one?
rolled another 20.
Oh, a queen.
All right, let's see if I am as good as a rat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do some rollies real quick.
Rollies to
I
end
I
the
got a
got
night.
dice out.
5.
If you got dice out in the chat,
Oh, I got
some rollies
2.
with us. I'll do my own.
16.
I'll do my own rollies as a person, not as a rat.
I think
Well, that's
Vexy has us
cocked.
all beat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a 5.
I also got a 5.
Why are you like
People and
this?
worse than rat. What does this mean?
Why are you like this?
No, I think that's all the announcements. If you happen to be near Miami, then Misty Mountain Gaming is at a show down there, and I personally, along with some other cool people, are at Fan Expo Chicago this weekend, the new Wizard World.
Awesome.
So much as there is a Wizard World at all, which there is not, but it's this now.
Well, it's
um,
Wizarding World.
Sure. But as ever, thank you guys for showing up. Sorry about my crappy audio quality and lighting situation. Hotels are real friendly about all of that, and also for stuffing my face half through the session. It was a
We're
long
just
stand-up
happy
day.
you're here, Rob.
Agreed.
Yes.
Please tune in Friday night for the next installment of this stream for Misfit Stream, and
Yeah.
again, like
And if
Rob
you
said,
wanna-
for Mondays.
If you want to help with Misfits charity run for school stuff.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Go
Tomorrow
check
on my
out
stream.
her stream.
There are more things to announce for this channel, but they're not quite finalized, so continue to stay tuned because we're doing stuff. Believe me, buddy, we're doing stuff.
Yay, stuff.
But nah, that's it.
Cool. Well, if you guys don't hear it anywhere else, as Rob says, you are loved, you're cherished, and we love you guys all so much. Have a great week, and we will see you Friday. Good night, everyone.
Bye.